at first it was a bumpy ride, and also uh, I told my wife, you realize we're going to be losing a lot of friends on one side of the fence, but would you, if you were a practicing Muslim and right after 9/11 two white Americans want to become Muslim, would you trust them?
My name's Pam Valentine. I converted to Islam 16 years ago. I've been almost 17 now.
I'm Gary Valentine. Grew up in upstate New York as a Christian and converted to Islam approximately a month after 9/11.
I grew up in upstate New York. We didn't grow up in the same towns, but I ended up in the same town as him. And after my divorce, I met him, and we hit it off. So
it was 1984. I looked out the kitchen window, and it wasn't a Jehovah's Witness. It was a short black man with a kufi. I learned later what it was called. He introduced himself as my new neighbor, and he said he's Muslim, and if I was interested in the religion, he gave me a copy of the Quran and some other associated reading material, and that started a journey that lasted approximately almost 20 years.
yeah, it's a big step initially, because it's not so much the religion; it's just it's the culture that you pretty much adopt, that you dropped into in the Muslim community, because most of them are immigrants. We're both American, and it was the culture shock. Well, we started learning about Islam before 9/11, so we weren't biased in any way. But I think, the progression of, he started reading Quran. I mean, he worked full time, and we were building a house, and, he'd come home from work, strap on a hammer and work for 4 hours building a house, and then before we went to bed, he would read Quran. And when 9/11 happened, we knew that it wasn't the religion. So we decided, we've got to make a decision here.
It's mandatory on all Muslims to make Hajj if they can afford it, and it's not a hardship. We could afford it. It wasn't a hardship. Some other people were going, and so we all got together in 2005 and made our Hajj. Growing up in the 60s and 70s, we were at Woodstock, Watkins Glen, Summer Jam 70. There was a lot of people there. I think Woodstock was 450,000.
500,000.
Watkins Glen was like 650,000.
He wasn't at Woodstock. I was at Woodstock.
Yes.
I didn't know him yet.
And you kept your clothes on.
I did. Yeah. My family is, I think they were following their Christian values, because, they want what's best for their children, but they also want their children to make their own decision.